Okay, so let's look at funding your business in 2025 with strategies that actually work. Are you ready? I know that this is what everybody has been looking forward to. But hey, yes, they don't call me funding boss for nothing. Yeah, so I'm going to be taking you through different ways you can fund your business. This is something I absolutely love doing. I have been able to come up with 60 different ways you can fund your business. I won't be sharing all of it today, but I will share guaranteed ones that you can go with and start putting into practice. All right? Are you ready? Let's go. So when it comes to funding, whether you're an African entrepreneur or you're joining from anywhere in the world, right? It is always a challenge getting funding. In fact, funding is always number one for majority of business owners all over the world. Of course, the scale is different. Some places it's easier to get certain kinds of funding than others. But in Africa, for instance, is very challenging. But there are four major things, four major funding options. Every other thing is underneath it. But there are four major funding options. Number one, grants, loans, investment, and then bootstrapping or self funding. I'll be taking you through all of this and sharing creative ways that you can get the funding that you need. I hope you are ready. Yeah, so let's go on. The first one is grants. Let me tell you what grants are. Grants are non-repayable funds provided by organizations, government, individuals, and the likes, right? For innovative or high impact areas. So everything about grants is free money. You don't pay it back for most of it. There are some grants that you pay back, like they call them recoverable grants. But majority of grants, you don't return it. They are free money. And for instance, in Funding Square community on Telegram and even on WhatsApp and on my Instagram page, I publish grants on a daily basis. And if you check our grants zone, we're currently working on it now and revamping it. Before long, we will push it live before the end of this month, I believe. My tech guy partners are working on it. But there, what we do on Grant Zone is to publish grants on a daily basis. You can view as many grants as possible, research the one that best suits you, and apply. They are free money. But because it's free does not mean that it is something that you can just use and do with whatever you like. How you treat one grant will determine if you're going to get the next. So, yes, there's no repayment required. It is often very, very competitive because it's free. Everybody applies. But then there are some that people don't know about. So it is not common knowledge. But there are others that are, for instance, if I say Tony Elumelu, everybody, almost everybody knows about it and they're applying for it. But there are other grants that you see maybe a 500, 300 applications, 200 applications, 600 applications. Unlike others you see. In fact, there was one grant application that we ran in my organization where I work with, and we got over 50,000 entries. So that's to tell you how competitive it can be. And literally, you have to go through it. And there are things you go through once you don't see it, especially your executive summary. See, the best part of every grant application is the executive summary. And that's why some people just ask for the basic information before requesting for a detailed proposal. So they use that to remove the people they are not interested in. But it has to be in high impact areas, places that are making impact. And impact again can be on uh, different aspects of life. It can be impact on the society. It can be impact on children, adults, women, the less privileged, a displaced camp, or maybe a different way of doing things, a healthier version of doing things, a local way of doing things, an innovative approach, different, but it has to have impact. Whether you're a business for profit or not for profit, you have to be able to communicate your impact. The first thing I do whenever we are writing applications on behalf of our clients, or maybe when I'm teaching grants or doing the grant challenge or the boot camp that I run, the first thing I do is to gets you in the mind frame of understanding the impact you are making. And let me just drop something for everyone here. Go ahead and check the UN sustainability goals. Study it. Take your time to understand it and see how what you do aligns, and then begin to check and gauge it, because it's not about your industry. You may look for grants for, let's say, in fashion, and you may be in that month or in a quarter or in the year, they will release 10 or 15 grants or 5 grants in that space. But your impact area is where is important. So aside the 5 grants, you now see close to 20 or 50 or 100 different opportunities in your impact area. If you want to learn more about grants, I have free videos on my YouTube channel. So please go ahead and watch it. I have about how you can find the right grants, um, where to find it, the types of grants, what you need to do, how to write it, how to package. Please go ahead and write it. I already have the free resource. I will not dwell on this so much, right? So go and find it. I'll drop the link as well so that you can use it. Understand different types of grants available as well so that you know what to do. All right. Now there are creative ways you can get grants. You can go to grant focus platforms like Grant Zone that I mentioned. There are other ones, funds for NGOs, Grant Watch, so many opportunity desk, opportunity for Africans. There are some that are free, there are some you have to pay, but then you go and see that they are publishing. But you have to research. Remember again, the resilient individual or based entrepreneur, persistent, adaptable, and resourceful. So you have to go and find it. You have to research. You have to apply and give yourself the time to get the grant. Focus on high impact areas. I've already mentioned how you can do it. If, for instance, like there's some people that will come to me, you are just a startup or you don't have proof of concept, you don't have traction yet, then you can partner. It's okay as long as you use it to get the credibility in the first one. There's so many other grants to apply for, so many. Don't get stuck in, oh, this one I must do. You know, you may not get it. But if you know you don't stand a chance in the eligibility, you're not strong, then partner with someone and present it as a partnership. Sign something legally binding and present it. Then develop a compelling pitch. Remember, I talked about pitch and lack of clarity being an issue. Make sure your pitch is very clear and it highlights the impact that you're making. Unlike investors, the pitch for a grant funder, you are focused on impact. For investors, they are focused on how you make money. Some impact investors also look at how you make impact after how you make money, because the whole essence of investment is for the money to come back 2 times, 5 times, 10 times. All right, let's go to loans now. When it comes to lending, lending is good. Some people actually there's this myth around, oh, don't borrow. If you borrow, they're going to no. You can use. Let me tell you, all the big organizations you see all over the world, they are heavy borrowers. They are heavy borrowers. They borrow. They borrow for different lending organizations, especially commercial or government, or special kinds of funding. So it don't say I will not borrow. No. The only thing is that when you borrow because you are returning that money and you're paying interest on that money. The first thing is to ensure that you borrow the money, you use it for an income generating asset for your business, not to use it on something liability that you, unless you can cover it with your regular cash flow. If not, ensure that that fund is going to something that will generate value, not take it out. Take out value, no, generate. Because you're paying back. And that's the worst thing. So I did a program before on debt to profit, right? And I had so many people join the free program where we talked about how to get free from debt and get free from. And I heard so many stories, so many things that really broke my heart. But guess what, guys? When you were entering into all of those things, people entered it with their eyes wide open. But then what happened was that one thing led to the other, to the other, to the other, and then before you knew it, you were struggling to pay back. So from the get-go, don't take more than you need. Take only what you require for a purpose, for a goal that will generate value, generate asset. Understand that the interest rate can go higher, especially in the environments that are high interest rate environments. in most African countries. They don't have stable interest rates. So understand that and be ready with it. Avoid loan sharks, all these lenders that will charge so much. Always be careful. In a business, I have this toolkit I developed sometime early this month. I'll be telling you more about it in a moment. But this toolkit, what you do with it is that there's a particular template there called the loan calculator. It helps you know how much. If I want to get 5 million naira, 10 million naira, 1,000, 100,000, what, 200 million, what will I be paying monthly? You put in the interest, you will know. Don't let people bamboozle you. If it is 5% flat monthly, know that in a year you are paying 5% times 12. If it is 34%, I hope you know that 60% per annum, that means in a year, is different from 7% per month. Do the calculation. 7 times 12 is what? Is not the same. So you need to be careful of the fine lines. And those are some things I also included in the, I think I have checklists, things you need to watch out for before you accept any offer, what you need to know to avoid entering any trap. I have different things on that funding toolkit. I have on loans, I have on grants, I have on investor getting ready for investment, and I also have on crowdfunding and bootstrapping. Yeah, really pretty much that is the only resource that you need to make your checks and to make sure that you get ready to write an amazing and get funded, right? So creative ways you can access loans, explore different options, peer-to-peer lending platform, especially for short-term needs, not for long-term purposes, right? Very important. Join cooperative societies, a lot of things go on there. People get offers tailored to the cooperatives. Even the cooperatives put funds and give themselves. If you're not there, you will not know. They will give it to themselves sometimes as single digits. Of course, others give it at double digits and all. But as you are going for your loans, again, your credit history has to be tight. You have to have a business plan with clear financial projections. Your cash flow, sometimes they will ask you for your 3-year financials. Build a relationship with your bank so that you know what things are happening, even know the kind of solutions they have. So, for instance, some people don't know that in their bank they have specific and cheap funding for women or cheap funding for schools. You will know. Get close to your business, your bank, study what they have, go to their website, ask questions, research them, and then even it helps you to even know the kind of bank to sign up with. All right, the one that actually supports you. Now, let's talk about investment. Investment here involves receiving funding for by whether it's individuals, that's angel investment, or venture capital firms or private equity. There's no repayment, of course, but they have ownership stake, they have equity. Um, Sometimes it comes with mentorship, support. They help you to scale your business. They help you to in your distribution. So sometimes when you're going for investor, don't go only for the money. Also go for what you have, at stake. Let me tell you guys something. For those before I leave, right? If you go to my page Funding Square, I publish some pitch hackathons or pitch programs. You can also go to Shark Tank or go to Lion. I've forgotten the Lion again. It skipped my mind right now. But go and watch. Go and see the kind of how people are responding. Use it to prep yourself and prepare yourself, right? And it helps you understand what investors are looking for. That's if I go to Shark Tank and watch 15 episodes. By the time you're done, you have a clear mindset of what to look out for and how to prepare yourself, right? But There are creative ways you can get investment. There are angel investors. Those are individuals with money. Some of them you can see them. They publish them online, or it may just be someone beside you that you know that has money. Right? You're looking for 10 million naira. Somebody has 10 billion naira. So angel investors are not only even people you know are angel potential. Even if they are not lending, they are potential. As long as you can give them a proposal that they cannot refuse. To participate in pitch competition. Also crowdfunding platforms, certain crowdfunding platforms also do not do. Some crowdfunding platforms, you have people that do reward, you have those that do grants, you have those that do what's it called, investment. So crowdfunding is where people pool money together to fund your business. All right. Yes, so that is also there. Leverage impact investors, definitely there are people that prioritize impact. So especially as you are beginning to put your business into shape, you're talking about funding, you're talking about things that you do, you're talking about the impacts that you're having and you're making. Don't go just for the funders that just fund for the returns. Also go for those that are looking for impact. Now let's look at bootstrapping. When it comes to bootstrapping, right? Bootstrapping involves funding your business with personal savings or your revenue, or you're trying to bootstrap. Do you know when you're wearing your tying your shoelace, you tie it, put it tight so that it can become stay on your feet, right? So literally that's the whole idea. So you're tightening, you don't have access to so much money, but then you're creating and you're being resourceful with what you have. You're not spending, overspending. You are managing your money. You are earning, making, looking for different ways to unlock funding, to save money here and there. There's no external debt. No, you're not paying interest. There's no external debt or equity dilution. How yes, you have, yes, maybe family and friends doing debt or equity for you. I have an online course on bootstrapping, complete on how you can bootstrap your business without any, as in this is my best form of funding because it's guaranteed. You don't need, and it totally depends on you. It totally depends on you, right? You can start small, start with what you have. This basically is looking at how can I use my savings? How can I use the revenues? Just the revenues I'm generating. I'm unlocking different revenue streams and earning and returning it back to my business. That's how majority of businesses start and grow before you start bringing in external funding. Leverage bartering, I do this one a lot. So I have people, for instance, you have a service and you trade it instead of spending cash. So I do it with my tech partners. I have, you want funding, you want coaching on funding, or you want me to apply for something on your behalf or to research something on your behalf. I will do that, and then you build a platform for me. It's going to be like for like. The cost has to match. Reinvest profit. So what profit you make, reinvest it. Reinvest. When you're bootstrapping, you don't go spending, traveling all over the world like maybe some investors funded businesses do. No, because you're bootstrapping. You're using every money, you're putting every money back. All right. After you pay yourself and sort out expenses, you put it back. Friends and family contributions. Yes. In bootstrapping, you are not ashamed. Let me tell you something. Don't you know that friends and family can give you money up to $5 million? Like the main one lady when she was talking about how she bootstrapped the first set of funding she got from friends and family, $1 million. Because you need to know how to ask. I dealt with this thing thoroughly in our bootstrapping course. So I would send the link also for that. But this one is a paid class, so you have to watch it and pay for it. Okay. I also have a class on grant mastery as well. So you can understand how to master everything about how to write, find, win grants. All right. So monetizing your knowledge and asset. This is also very key. I do this one too as well. This basically means what do you know, what do you have, earn from it. So for instance, I want to raise 10 million in 3 months. What can I do? What do I sell? What do I package? What service can I render to raise it? I need to get 5 of my one-on-one clients to sign up here. I need to write like maybe 2 research proposals and find out, calculate what I would do, a service I will render, and I'll raise the money without going anywhere. Like literally, I stay funded throughout the year without any external support. I do majority of my own funding is grants and bootstrapping. I don't go out for loans, investment, crowdfunding. No. I do bootstrapping and grants. That is where I focus because I want something that will be easy for me to do based on the kind of work I do. You can also monetize your assets. So you have assets like a school, for instance. You're not in session Saturdays and Sundays. You own a warehouse you don't use. You have something that will have excess capacity. Rent it out and earn from it. There are startups that cannot afford it, but you already have the asset. And it can be anything. It can be anything. It can be your house, a rented place. Just rent it out. Generate funding. Remember, you're being resourceful. You're thinking, how can I raise money? How can I raise money? How can I raise money when you're bootstrapping? All right. So that is it. All about funding. And if you have questions, let's get straight to it.